We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
No, 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 no. I'm tired of hearing this argument, and we're going to debunk this once and for all. There's a lot of talk about high-capacity magazines, but I have a question for you. What constitutes a high-capacity magazine? I'll wait. What is it, 10? 10 rounds? Why 10? Where'd you get that number from? Is it because you have 5 fingers on each hand? Is it because 10 is a nice, even number? Is it because you do 3 sets of 10 at the gym? No matter what number you provide, it's arbitrary. Anyone who is in favor of a high-capacity magazine ban immediately makes me aware of one thing. You don't shoot. You don't shoot. You clearly don't know what's going on, and you don't understand how guns work. So I'll educate you on why this argument isn't logically sound. You want as many rounds as possible to save your life. We are law-abiding citizens, meaning we abide by the law, meaning we aren't out committing crimes. So when we're out abiding by the law, spreading the love of Christ everywhere we go, being benevolent to our fellow man, and somebody who doesn't abide by the law chooses to commit a crime or commit acts of violence, why should we be behind the 8 ball and have to play nice with somebody who wants you dead? I want as many rounds as possible because I'm law-abiding. You don't have to worry about me. If I had a magazine with 17 rounds, those 17 rounds are essentially 17 chances for me to save my life and stop the threat. Now, if you say, oh no, 17 rounds is too many, once again, you don't shoot. This isn't Hollywood. In real life, you miss. When someone is trying to take your life or do extreme bodily harm to you and your heart is beating through your chest because you're fighting to live, you'll miss. On top of that, people don't get shot once and fly through 3 walls like in the movies. The average person doesn't cease to be a threat until they've been hit 5 times. Some of y'all might have heard about the mall shooter in June of 2022 in Indiana. He was stopped by a 22-year-old hero named Eli Dickin. Eli was carrying a Glock 19 handgun, which has a magazine capacity of 15 rounds. He engaged the mass murderer at 40 yards. He shot 10 times, missed 2 of the shots, and hit the shooter 8 times, thus neutralizing the threat and saving the day. Eli had the skill and confidence to engage a threat who was actively trying to kill people at 40 yards, and he still missed twice. On top of that, the murderer wasn't some huge Hulk Hogan type of guy. He was a skinny kid, and it still took him 8 shots to go down. 8. Because this is the real world. I met a cop who had moved to Nashville from Illinois, and she told me about how she responded to a call with some officers, and a man came out of his home shooting at the officers. She said, "Man, y'all make some good meth down here in Tennessee." I was like, "What do you mean?" She said the guy who was shooting was on meth and didn't even know he had been shot until he got shot the 17th time. Then he realized he was shot and he just kind of sat down and was breathing heavily like it was no big deal. You don't get to choose how many rounds it'll take to stop a threat. Have you ever experienced a malfunction before? Of course you haven't, because you don't shoot. Malfunctions happen all the time, bro. A malfunction can come in many variations. You could have a failure to feed, a double feed, a misfire, a stovepipe. The list goes on. If one of your bullets doesn't work, you want to be able to quickly clear the malfunction and get back to the bullets that do work. If you don't have many bullets to begin with because of the farce that is high-capacity magazines, then you're out of the game even sooner because you're no longer able to effectively defend yourself. So let's say that we live in a world where it's mandated that everyone only has 5-round magazines. All right, we've already established that under stress, you'll miss. Also, that malfunctions happen, and the average amount of shots to stop a threat is 5, but it could definitely be more than 5. What would happen then? First of all, criminals and police will be the only ones with the so-called high-capacity magazines, and the law-abiding citizens would have to carry multiple magazines. Quick fact here. The average number of rounds fired by attackers using high-capacity magazines is very similar to the number fired without them. A killer doesn't have to have a high-capacity magazine. They can just carry multiple guns or multiple magazines. So essentially, it would solve nothing. If anything, this puts law-abiding citizens at a disadvantage because, keeping the previous information in mind, when a threat appears, the citizens will have to do multiple reloads. And you know what reloads take? Time. And that could be time you don't have, because the criminal decides when and where bad things happen, not the law-abiding citizen. And for what? You run out of your 5 shots while the criminal has a 50-round drum on a gun that he got illegally anyway? Also, we can adhere to some arbitrary rule to make people who don't even know anything about guns feel safe? If you haven't noticed by now, this isn't about safety. It's about control. That's why it's called gun control. Our elected officials don't care about how many bullets our magazines can hold. What they want is to slowly chip away at our Second Amendment rights until we wake up one day and no longer have them. High-capacity magazines aren't real. It's nonsensical. It's the moon is made of cheese. And it's made up by power-hungry politicians who are willing to make a boogeyman out of something just to serve their own political interests? I wonder where we've heard that before. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications for awesome trainings. I'll see you on the next one.